Hello, Toronto. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good. Great weather we're having. Normally it's supposed to be snow right now, isn't it?
It does not feel like
No, it's still
November.
golf season. Okay, that sounds great.
Now we are in for a real treat. Absolute baseball legend, not only a baseball legend, but also the hero behind one of the most iconic moments in Toronto sports history. I have to ask you about that. 1993, the World Series, you hit a walk-off home run. Take us through that moment. What was going through your head?
The first thing was going through my head was don't strike out. Yeah, don't embarrass yourself because everybody's watching. But, in a situation like that, for me, everybody knows me. I love being in that situation. I love the pressure of the game, being on the line, and I'm at the plate. I was more nervous watching the other guys hit in the dugout because I couldn't do anything about it. But when I got to the plate, I was totally relaxed. It seems like every game it comes down to somehow I'm in the limelight from the 92 World Series, the last out, the 91 the 91 game where we clinched, I got the base hit, but here we are, the bottom of the ninth in Game 6 of the World Series, and I was absolutely loving it. Was not thinking about hitting a home run, Camila. I was just thinking about getting a base hit because we had two slow runners on the bases. We had Ricky Henderson and Paul Molitor. So, therefore, I had to hit a home run to let both of them score because otherwise they were so slow they would not have scored.
I was going to ask, in that moment, did you know it would be career defining? Did you know that you could do it?
I knew I could do it, and I knew it would be career defining. And, sometimes it takes away from your career because when people, I tell people I did hit more than one home run. And you people in Toronto know that. I did hit more than one home run, but that happened to be the biggest one, and so that's how people will always think of me and remember me. And I'm like, well, it could have been worse. I could have been the pitcher who threw it. So, I'd rather be on this side than be on the other side.
And it's no secret that you are a Toronto fan favorite, but with that comes a lot of pressure. How did you handle that? What was the mental game like? How did you stay true to yourself when you knew that the fans were relying on you?
To me, that's not pressure. To me, it's how you look at things. And I looked at things as if you give it your best every single game, every single at bat, that's all that the fans can ask of you. That's all you can ask of yourself. You can't do less, you can't do more. But when you go out there and don't give it your best, then you're cheating yourself and the fans who paid good money to see you play. So to me, like I say, playing the game of baseball, to me that was no pressure at all. That was fun, and I think you guys saw that on my face, the way that I played, the way that this young lady here said, I said hello to her. She was in the outfield, and I said said hello to everybody, once the game started and everything. I was communicating with the crowd. I remember in Cleveland, they had a knock on me. They said because when I was at the plate, they said I smiled too much. And so I'm supposed to be serious about playing the game of baseball, but no. When you're playing 162 ball games, and here in Toronto it's about 182 ball games, it's not about being serious. It's about having some fun and enjoying the moment, and I did that to the best of them.
And you mentioned there were plenty more home runs, plenty more memorable moments. Other than that 93 World Series, what would you say is the most memorable moment of your career or your happiest memory?
The happiest moment? Winning that first World Series that was huge. And for me to be at first base, which I had no business being at first base, okay, because that was not my position. But because of the National League having the pitchers hit, I had to play first base. And I remember in the ninth inning, and I had a flashback, and I said, what the heck am I doing here at first base? It's like the biggest game of my life, and I thought about Bill Buckner for just 1 second, and the next guy hit the ball right to me in the bottom of the ninth, but I was able to catch it, step on the bag. Whew, that was it. But catching the last out of the first World Series to bring the championship home to Toronto, my mother, she nicknamed me Jumpin' Joe the Kangaroo. So my son, the Kangaroo, and that's what I always did. So that was, besides the second year, but that was probably the biggest moment. Winning that first World Championship, they can never take it away from you.
Yeah, round of applause for that. We would love to feel that happiness again, I'm sure. What do you think, from your perspective, the Jays have to do to finally bring that championship back to Toronto?
Bring back the 93 team. You know, it's funny you say that. I've watched the Blue Jays, and they've got a great young ball club. One of the guys they lost, and I hate they lost him last year, was Teoscar Hernandez. And I was I had an event in Ottawa last week and talked to one of the owners, and he asked me the same question. He said, what do we need to do? I said, you got to find an RBI guy in the middle of that lineup. You got to find your Joe Carter to drive the runs in. I said, I'm no longer available. I can still hit, but running, nah, that's out of the question. But they've got to find a guy with the presence that's going to drive you in 105, 110, 115 RBIs, because that's what the Jays need. They've got a great young ball club with Vlad and Bo. I mean, they've got a pitching staff. All the key ingredients are there. They're just missing that one guy in the middle, and hopefully they can find him.
Who would you bring in?
Who would I bring in? Well, he's already signed. I'd bring in Shohei, but you know, I don't think what's $700 million in Canadian. That's a lot, isn't it? Wow, I don't know who I would bring in. It's a good question. See there, you
put you on the spot there.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. I don't even know who the free agents are, but they've got to find some guy to. Well, you know what? Teoscar is still a free agent, so
bring him back.
Bring him back. I'd love to see him back here.
All right, now I'm mindful of your time, so I'm going to get one more question in, and I think it's special to hear about your time in Toronto in Canada. What made this place so unique compared to other places that you played in, and what are your favorite personal memories of this city?
Well, first of all, Toronto to me is like a second home, and I have my golf tournament here and going on the 16th year, so that's what I think about Toronto. But the greatest memories I have, what made that so personal for me, was all you guys, all the fans. I have a lot of acquaintances that I still talk to, a lot of friendships here, and it's like I can't wait to get back here every time I come back. And coming across the border, you know, a lot of people say it's a hassle. For me, no, it's almost like coming home. But just, you know, and it's ironic, it's kind of funny, because when I come here and I go to the Jays games and stuff, I walk down the street and no one bothers you. It's like no one, well, first of all, they don't recognize
She's like, I would
me.
bother you.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm walking and they've got Joe Carter jerseys on and they have no idea that I'm right behind them, and I'll walk right past them, and it's nothing. It's like I've been forgotten. But no, not like I've been forgotten, but you know, the people here have always treated me with a lot of respect. They've, you know, given me a lot of great moments, and I will continue to be back here in Toronto for the rest of my life, because this is my second home.
Well, you are always welcome here, Joe. Thank you so much for your time, for giving us an insight into your story. It was an absolute pleasure.
All right, Camilla, thank you too.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you,
Joe
Toronto.
Carter.